Hello everyone, welcome back to Lab4crypto. The crypto market started to show some signs of excitement. We see some altcoins moving upwards. We saw Bitcoin broke an all-time high. Also Ethereum is showing a sustained strength, which that actually is a really good sign because do not forget that for the question that I get all the time from people is when altcoin season. Usually you want Ethereum to bottom and move sustainably to the upside to spark a rally to lower market cap coins. So in this video, I'm going to check the Ethereum chart. We are going to check together if it's bottom. Also, we are going to run live a sentiment analysis for Ethereum. We are going to run the code and have our code scan all the articles in the web and see if they are bullish or bearish or neutral. We are going to also showcase our new website and platform, which I wanted to show you a sneak peek now. The website is live, which you will be able to see exactly what we offer. We are going to learn more in depth what is in our platform. And of course, you always log in. You can log in into our platform and you will be able to see the risk metrics for 25 projects. You are going to check, I think we have more than 1000 graphs inside the platform. So you'll be able to make educated decisions on your next move. And of course, you will be able to join our Telegram Premium as well, which is just a channel which premium users interact each other. They ask me questions about models that they didn't understand. And of course, you will be able to see what personally I am doing with my portfolio using the data that you have in front of you. If you like the content, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. And let's dive in immediately to the important stuff. So Ethereum for the past 2 weeks, actually, we saw big green candles, which is something that I was anticipating. And that also can be seen, for example, in our Twitter, which on April 8th, I said that Ethereum has finally touched its -1 standard deviation line, which historically marked the best opportunities to start DCAing into ETH, which this is our bottom range indicator, which it's an equation basically. Let me show you in the platform. So Ethereum, you saw bounce really well on the bottom line, which was between April 6th until April 21st, which we said that we have accumulated Ethereum. So you'll be able to see the move in Telegram as well, but of course you can see it on Twitter as well. And that for me, it was a good sign that Ethereum reached its bottom. Of course, some bad news can move the market to the downside, but the next bottom, if we have a really bad situation in the market, it's this purple, this orange line, which monotonically increases, which means, let's say, if again we have a pullback, a really bad pullback in August, I will expect it to reach 1.77K. So let's say 1.8K, which of course is going to be again a prime accumulation period based on what I see now. But of course, it's not a financial advice. The markets are dynamic, and that is why you need to check the graphs and the news daily and have tools to be able to be on top of it. Anyway, this graph now is giving us a really good vibes, let's say, in the crypto market, because always on the previous cycles, we wanted Ethereum to bounce on its bottom range on its bottom range and then move sustainably to the upside. Let's go a little bit back. That's too much. Let's go. Yeah. So you'll see usually bounces on the orange line, except of course, which we dipped a little bit below it when was the COVID crash. So that It's a pandemic situation, which of course, again, was not that far from the actual value. But again, the point is that when Ethereum usually goes and touches this orange line, that means our probability of Ethereum reaching its bottom is really high. And that value was 1.6K, let's say. 1.6 exactly. Now, if we check Bitcoin bull market support band, you will see that Ethereum now, sorry, we want to see Ethereum bull market support band. You will see that we are well above it now, as the band is between 2.54 and 2.25K, which that's a good news, especially that we are in a period which was really quiet in the market. Only now, if you see the Google Trends interest of people basically Googling the word Bitcoin and Ethereum, you will see that we are starting to see a spike. We are starting to see people starting to come back into the market, which that's a good sign because you need a constant liquidity to be able to sustain higher prices. And if we check as well the volume, the total crypto market cap volume, you will see that from the 10th of July, we have a sustained move to the upside, and we want to keep seeing that because that will give us a conviction that actually we are in an altcoin season. We are going to go in an altcoin season because, as you'll see, we are only at 39 and we want to be at 75 to be able to say mathematically that we are in an altcoin season. So below the green line, we are in Bitcoin season. Between the green and the purple one, we are not in an altcoin season or either Bitcoin season. So it's like a gray area. And then when we move above the purple one is when we have an altcoin season. And we lived a shorter one basically in December, between December 2nd to December 8th, which on 2024, which for people that they were in the market, it was a crazy period. But usually this period when we enter an altcoin season, and it's actually truly an altcoin season, it lasts between 3 to 5 months. It's not 1 week. That is why you need to be careful with altcoins because they are not forgiving a way to allocate your capital. You need to be on top of it because as they go up fast, they go down extremely fast. That is why it's wise for you to check our risk metric and know when it's a good time for you to maybe thinking to reduce your allocation to a specific asset as its risk level is a bit high and therefore you can DCA out of it and not just wait that it's going to keep going up forever, and unfortunately you wake up, the price dumps 20%, and then you are thinking it's going to go up again and it's not, and you end up losing the gains that you had. So this is what I'm using basically for my movements, and I combining the risk metric, of course, with the other metrics that we have in the platform to help me make an educated decision on my moves. So for now, actually, I stayed mostly on layer ones. So I'm mostly BTC, ETH, and Sol, and I have not moved to lower altcoins yet because I want to keep seeing Ethereum moving higher and higher to give room to altcoins to run. And I'm watching closely altcoins like Tau and Sui, which I think they have a potential to bring really high gains when the time comes. But you need to be sure because, as I said, it can be really damaging to your portfolio if you're trying to rush and make moves without seeing all the data, in my opinion. We are seeing, let's have a look on Bitcoin, for example. Bitcoin risk for when it was at 107, 105 in the beginning of July, the risk was only 28%. And that is why you will see that we have accumulated actually a lot. I have accumulated actually a lot in this level. And now that we are at 120K, you will see that the risk is at almost 45%. So we are starting to heating up. I mean, we are let's say in a medium risk region. We are not definitely in a, let's say, extremely high risk territory. But I'm keeping tabs on the graphs, and I'm checking when I feel uncomfortable about the risk level of Bitcoin. I'm gonna exit with a percentage of my portfolio, because in the end, it's best for you to navigate the market based on your risk tolerance. Let me showcase a little bit our dashboard, which will be live, I think, next week for every user in the platform. So here we have Bitcoin dominance, we have Bitcoin Google Trends, which I think is really good indicator for you to be able to see how the hype, how people are Googling words which are related to Bitcoin, to crypto, to Ethereum, whatsoever. You're having the FOMO level, which basically is the price when this threshold is surpassed. Usually people are FOMOing into an asset, and then we are starting to see higher and higher prices. For Bitcoin, is 94 now. And if you want to know more about this model, as always, you can click on it and you will see a detailed description. And let's have a look on Ethereum, for example. What is this level? For ETH, the FOMO level is 3.8K. So when we reach this price level, I think Ethereum will move really fast to the upside. And as we said, we are above the bull market support band, as you see now. Of course, this is our flagship risk metric, which I think is one of the most sophisticated ones in the crypto market, because it combines both on-chain and off-chain data daily to give you a risk level. It's not only price, volume, volatility. It checks also on-chain data, which on-chain data, for people that don't know, it's everything that occurs in the blockchain, the movements of capital, addresses with high amounts of the asset of your interest. You will see the on-chain metrics are on your left side. For example, let's have a look on some of them. It's the, for example, active addresses, how many people are actively doing something in the market, how many new people are entering the market, and so on. But the main idea for the past 6-7 years that we are using it, it's doing a really good job for us. And this is how we navigate the market, and we are using all the other metrics as a complementary if we want to make a big move, and we want to be sure that all as well other metrics are pointing to the same direction. We have a quick market sentiment. So we have the fear and greed index, we have the altcoin season index, and of course we have the Bitcoin supply in profit and loss, which now, for example, you will see 99.2% of the Bitcoin supply is in profit now. And the short-term bubble risk, which, as you will see, when we are between 1.25 to 1.75, we are in a neutral region. And when we move above the 1.75, we are reaching a higher risk, which basically the short-term bubble risk is the, let's have a look at the equation. We divide the current price of the asset divided by the 20-week simple moving average. So when the current price is overextended from the 20-week simple moving average, then usually it's a good time for you to see if actually it aligns with our flagship risk metric as well. And then you have a higher chance of making an exit, let's say, and be correct. Of course, we have, as I said, thousands of graphs. One that I see as well is the free float and VRV, which below each graph, I have a detailed video explaining how you can use it. And to sum up, I think Ethereum has a really high chance that it reach its bottom in April. That is why I actually posted it on Twitter as well. And after 3 years, which I had almost zero ETH, I started accumulating. And that is a good news for the crypto market, because we want to see the second best crypto after Bitcoin to start to show strength, because it will bring more people into the market. It will start bringing retail back. We're already seeing Ethereum companies starting to use Sailor playbook and accumulate Ethereum, which that is good as well. And I think the Q4 of this year has the potential to be maybe one of the best, because we're going to have regulatory clarity. We have the regulations in the US. We have the expectation of rate cuts, which the market expects the first one to be in September, which for the US actually is really high. It's one of the major economies that did not reduce the interest rates a lot. For example, if you see US currently is at 4.5, and if you go to, let's say, Cyprus, which is in European Union, it's just 2.15. So because it's the same in all Europe, so it's huge difference. That is why it's important for you to know that your risk reward ratio for the end of the year is to be in the market or out of the market. If you want to be in the market, you need to know when is a good time to accumulate and when is a good time to exit. And I think you'll be fine. Our platform is extremely helpful for that. Before I close the video, I told you together we're going to run a sentiment analysis on Ethereum. So let's run the code together. This code now is going to scan all the articles that they are online now about Ethereum, and it's going to tell us if the sentiment, let's say, of the market is bullish or bearish. You will see all these articles that are being scanned, and for this video I only scan the first 100 articles online, and you will see that 47 of them were positive, 9 were negative, and we have 44 that are neutral. So Ethereum now, it's more close to be bullish on the media than negative. So if we see some more news which are not neutral and are tilted to positive, I think the sentiment will be moved to bullish. Anyhow, the risk as well of Ethereum, let's see, it's at really good place as well. Let's have a look. So it was 70% only. Let's see, on the bottom, the recent bottom was only 22%. And now we have moved to 39.1. So we still have a lot of room to grow, but always manage your risk. So I hope you liked the video, and until next time, bye-bye.